All right, let's just jump right in. In a world that is constantly screaming at you to be visible, post every day, hustle out in the open, what if the most powerful move you could possibly make was to just disappear? We're going to break down this really counterintuitive idea, the darkroom strategy.
So, does this sound at all familiar to you? You're always doing something, right? You're posting, you're commenting, you're networking, you're just busy. But when you actually stop and look back, do you ever feel like you're just running in place? It's a huge trap in our always-on culture where we mistake being busy for actually making progress.
You really have two different paths in front of you. On one side, you've got this always-on culture. That's the road that leads to shallow work, constantly chasing trends, and, let's be honest, total burnout. But then there's this other path, the darkroom strategy. And this is all about strategic silence, deep work, and building genuine mastery. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about becoming the most formidable.
Okay, so what is this darkroom, really? Let's pull back the curtain on this idea and see how it can lead to a real breakthrough in your work.
Here's the core of it. We're talking about a deliberate, intense, and private period of focus. The key words there are deliberate and intense. This isn't about hiding or procrastinating. You're stepping away from all the noise, not to take a break, but to build something truly substantial, without the distraction of everyone's opinions or that constant pressure to post updates.
And this quote just nails the entire philosophy. Think about it. The greatest artists, the most innovative entrepreneurs, the top athletes, their biggest breakthroughs didn't happen on a live stream. Nope. They happened during thousands of hours of unseen, focused work. They built their skills in private so they could absolutely dominate in public. All right, so the concept makes sense. But how do you actually do it? How do you unplug from this whole system of constant visibility and actually enter the dark?
Well, it really boils down to three clear steps. First, you have to define your mission. And notice it says one project or skill. This is all about radical focus. Second, you set a timeline. This is not some vague someday plan. You give yourself a firm, real deadline. And third, and this is the hardest part for a lot of us, you go silent. No progress reports, no behind-the-scenes teasers, just you and the work.
And while you're in there, these are the rules of the game. Absolutely no social media updates on your work. None of that #grind stuff. You have to embrace being isolated on purpose, not as a punishment, but as a tool to get that deep focus. It means you have to learn to work without that constant drip of likes and comments, and just trust that the work itself is enough.
So you've done it. You've put in the hours. You've built your masterpiece in secret. The silence has done its job. Now comes the really fun part, coming back into the light and crafting your big reveal.
This is that big transformation moment. You went into the darkroom on a mission, as one person, and you're coming out as someone totally new, holding the actual proof of your work. That quiet, heads-down period is over. Now it's time to show the world what you've been building. But coming back isn't just one big event. It's a whole campaign. It happens in phases. First, the teaser phase, where you start dropping little hints and create some mystery. Then you move into the pre-launch, building up anticipation with a few more details. And finally, you get to the launch, where you drop the fully formed project and just shock everyone with what you were doing when you were quiet. So let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. In this age of nonstop distraction, why is this idea of strategic silence more powerful and more relevant than ever before? I mean, the difference in impact is just staggering. The kind of output you get from constant, distracted, shallow work is pretty minimal. It creates a lot of noise, but not much signal. But the impact from that focused, deep, dark room kind of work, it's on a whole other level. This is the difference between just adding to the noise and creating something that cuts right through it. So if there's one core takeaway from this whole strategy, it's this simple mantra: disappear with purpose, return with proof. Don't just fade away because you're lost. Go away because you are on a mission. And when you come back with undeniable proof of what you've accomplished. And that really leaves us with one final thought. If you gave yourself permission to just go silent for a while, to shut out all the noise and focus on just one thing, what kind of masterpiece could you create in your own darkroom?